Reese is going to pee. This is Paris intro to the Lazy Eye podcast. He's going to pee. I just wanna produce some beats. This is the Lazy Eye podcast. This is the Lazy Eye beats. This is the Lazy Eye podcast. This is the Lazy Eye beats. This is the Lazy Eye beats. This is the Lazy Eye beats. The Lazy Eye beats. Lazy Eye beats. Thank you.
Okay, we're back on the Lazy Eye podcast. A little bit late on etiquette. I'm very fucking excited for this one. We're back on the Lazy Eye Studios. This week has been a journey. I've had this haircut for like a week now, and the baby Jesus has blessed me with some beautiful times. I feel like everything has changed. I've been like, Paris is burning, Paris chaos, Paris, France, not Paris, Texas, Paris in the streets of London. It's been an intense journey, and it kind of started like a week ago when we also decided that we're gonna do we haven't done a one-on-one podcast yet, and like a returning guest from the exactly previous podcast. So this is very exciting. We're back here with Malva.
Hello.
Who did the podcast, the Sharing is Caring podcast, one of our best ones yet. And she is back, and this time it's more intimate and personal, and we're gonna trauma bond. And
yeah, oh my god, if you haven't heard the Sharing is Caring one though, I really recommend you listen to it.
Yeah,
it was great. We were going a lot in each other's mouths, but I just felt like all of us we're all of us such a like loud people, and we just want to speak, and like we do that. We tend to do that a lot. Like we recently got to know each other, but you probably know that we talk a lot in each other's mouths, and we're like,
other stuff in each other's mouths, but
different things in the mouth. Yes.
There's,
by the way, sweetie, there's music playing in the headphones.
Really?
Yes, there's some. I think from your phone or something. It's like some rock. But I wrote down 3, like I woke up this morning, and I was at a little birthday party yesterday, so it became very late and very much Bailey's and cheesecake, and I've been going at it a little bit. Yeah.
Like you talk about all this corona shit like you're like in the newsroom, but you've been like, it's been okay for you. It's been all right.
I'm doing my best to not like forget social. I'm trying to keep my my friends like it's see the moon.
You come in here talk to me about fucking isolation. How dare you?
Just like a week ago, you and I was in a party together.
Yeah.
For a friend of ours, and that was fucking amazing.
It was fucking amazing, but like talking about, not to throw out like a PSA, but there was like a lot of like saliva exchanges in the middle of a pandemic.
There were a bit, yeah.
Yeah, which is I don't know.
Bea's
laughing in the background. Yeah. Which, listen, here's the thing. I'd rather get anything that fucking exists than shield myself from any sort of like fun experience and connection with people. Because I don't know. Also, like, that's how I bonded with people, like in Athens and going out in bars and like all those communities. I don't know, like touch and kind of communication and like those things are too important to me to just like spend 2 years like a monk. Like,
oh god, no,
fuck
no.
that. Yeah.
But I think that also like everything like that, how limited everything is right now, it just makes you like, for sure you're not social in the way you used to, like you're not seeing as big group of people as you used to, but still I think that we're doing the best that we can. Like I think it's really important to keep up your contact and like keep seeing people and like keep going on dates, like keep going to like, you know, whatever, like have threesomes and like whatever you want to do, right? You shouldn't stop yourself, but maybe you shouldn't like, you know, invite like 25
of
people
course,
over,
yeah, no, I'm very kind of like, also, I don't know, like the people at that space are all people that anyways interact with each other almost daily in the same spaces. It's like a very like microcosm of like, it's not 8 random people, it's like 8 people that kind of, I don't know, blend into the same spaces and do similar stuff. So it's like, to me, like it doesn't change any, like, I don't know, if I was in a room with 10 people I don't know, I might, I will feel weird at this point, I think. Even if I try to stop it and be like super cool about it, it
would be, something like, you know, like even before, I think like I'm not, like that's, I don't know how you are, but I'm always like thinking a little bit twice, like even before this. If I'm gonna go somewhere, and I wish that I was like more, you know, spontaneous and cool, and like I could like go party myself, but I can't. And like I'm really much thinking about like, okay, am I gonna know someone that's there, like that I can talk to, like you know, like you usually you have to have like a little bit of a security, right? And I think that is only getting worse now, like because you're just hanging out with your closest friends pretty much.
I know I've experienced that a lot, where like generally I always was, I've been very cringe. I think everyone that has ever watched the podcast or listened to it gets what I'm saying. Like I wasn't afraid of being a bit cringy at times, because I was always like meeting new people, and then like when you first meet new people, you're just talking shit, like trying to fill the other person out, and it's always just like awkward sometimes. But I feel like lately I've had it to an extent of like, now for the first time I'm getting a little bit of social anxiety. It's very subtle, but I don't have the same communication skills I could just have for years, where I could talk to 20 new people a day. And
it exhausts you in a way, in like a much more way, like because you're not used to it anymore. Like it exhausts you to just like, oh god, like I go to school, for example, like here, like it's not even so many people here, but you like are gonna be like, hello, like how you been, how are you doing, how's the weather, like whatever.
Corridor talk, I've been so bad at it,
and it's really hard in our school too, because our corridors are extremely long. They're so long, and what I hate about it is just like, I don't know, some people that you don't really know, but they like hold the door for you, which is really nice, because when you gonna go to the bathroom, you have to go through these doors. So if someone's coming behind you, of course you hold the door, right? But some people, it's really, really hard, and it's really hard situations that I find myself in quite often, where they hold the door, but I'm very far away. So I feel like I'm just starting to like run out, and then you don't even know each other. So it's like, hello, like thank you. Thank you. But it's, have that happened to you?
Oh yeah, I've had all of the like weird things where it's like you will like walk past each other and someone says something, you keep walking but you're not sure, and what hi. Oh, good.
Yeah, like, I bet you and I have done that, because
I've done a couple of times.
Yeah, we've been in this in the school for 2 years now together, pretty much.
We've talked like the last 2 weeks, and that's it.
The last 2 weeks we got to know each other, but before that I was like, I saw you a lot, but we just never really got the opportunity to become
it was always
friends.
like
hi.
Oh, good. So good.
So how do you,
studio? Fun, have fun, great.
What are you working? Well, goodbye.
Okay, bye. Yeah, those I fucking hate those now. It used to be easier, I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's my impression of you, like before I met you, was definitely that you were just like this like out and about person, that you like know everybody, and you're just like a little bit like friends with everybody, and that you're like, you know, you like pretty much, you know, you lived at school. This was like your home.
Yeah, I have a little of that. It's not that true, but I think I know it's okay. That is interesting. I think I try to make an effort, like the first year here, just to like meet people and like use my social skills from like working for 5 years in bars and just like try and create a little bit of a because I wanted to feel comfortable enough in this building so I could so it could be like that. So I kind of in the beginning I almost forced myself to never be like sitting in a corner like writing or just being like and just try and be like super, oh, how are you guys today, like a fucking, I don't know, like a fucking work here. How was your experience at the studio today? Okay,
do you want me to give you a little tour of the school? Here's the bathrooms.
Please
the kitchen, microwave. But it's we always been in different classes, but I know that I've always got a really good impression.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, this girl fucking grinds here. Like everyone else like comes is this cable gonna be good to record this? And then Malva's like, I'm here like 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. fucking in the studio. What you want, bitch? I'm like,
I have to tell you that's been me and my roommate's goal, like for ever since, like fucking in the studio. And I want to ask you, like, because last week I fucked in the studio, but not in school, on this third floor.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah,
does that count?
The guy. No, sorry. No. It counts as it counts like a cool experience. It counts as a great experience to like fuck on a Funkhouse studio. Beautiful. But as far as the parameters of the danger, it doesn't count because it's his private space, and it's like. It's too easy. There's none of the danger.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right. Because the studios here, like our school studios, they don't have beds.
Sorry to discount your experience.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But I'm happy about my experience though. But it was really like, I decided last minute to spend the night there. So I went down, like our school building is huge. So I went down in the middle of the night to have my midnight pee. Like pretty much bare naked, like going down, like, you know, hair up. Like, you know, just like the fuck, you know, messy hair, shoulder thing, like, just like, you know, like sticking out my ass to the school a little bit, like lifting my skin, like, but it was pretty scary. I really wanted him though to tell me ghost stories about Funkhouse. Like that's what was the plan, to get really scared and then stay the night. But then he didn't know any ghost stories, so we just like.
Are ghost stories even a thing anymore? I don't know.
I don't think so, because I ask people sometimes, because I think it's sort of, I don't think it's the ghost stories that I want. I just enjoy people telling me stories. Yeah. Like I love, you know, if I have a sleepover, like it's just like, if someone makes up a story for me, it's so cozy. Aww. Just like, I just want them to like, you know, That's super cute. Is that like childhood trauma though? Or is it? Feels like it could be. I don't want to. I don't know where it would. I guess my dad used to tell me a lot of stories. Like I grew up with just my dad, and like we lived in the countryside and like a little wagon sort of thing, and he we usually had to walk out there, so it took to walk from where the train stopped to our little, you know, like not a wagon. This was more like a circus wagon. So he got a circus wagon and he put it in the woods.
Oh my god, I love him. That is so great.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I really miss him. Anyway, but he put it out in the woods for us, and so we had to walk from the train station every day from my kindergarten thing out to this circus wagon, and it took like about 1.5 hours to walk there. So he always would tell me the stories. And then it was like he had like followings up on the stories. So I remember it was like about this girl, like, and her brother, and they were just like pranking people like every day. Like, what are they up to now? They were really like anyway, that really got me through the walks. And that's like, I like sort of like, I spaced out of the time. I was like, I always like, are we there yet sort of person when I was small, but now it's just like, you know, so in it. Yeah. So that, I think I wouldn't call that a trauma.
No, it's actually the opposite of trauma.
It's an opposite, like it's a good experience. And that's, I think maybe that's also a little bit weird, like, you know, like after like I like have an intimate like moment I'm like asking the person to tell me a story like that. Just I'm just thinking about this now, but it's a little bit weird. But anyway, it's
Yeah, but I think it's like endearing. I think it's one of those things like, I don't know, there's people that like carry stuff where they kind of like impose it on you,
Yeah.
and there's people that have like nice little quirks which you don't have to trace back. Like, I think like tracing back things sometimes it's just unnecessary.
You can always trace back things though.
You can
of
always
course,
do.
if you want
You can
to.
always do. But I kind of, I mean, this was fascinating. I love tracing stuff back. But I also think like we do it too much to the point that like I love people that have quirky kind of things and characteristics that you don't have to deconstruct and be, they do that because I enjoy people that just have those things, and I think like that's one of the most like endearing things to have. Like tell me a story is, I don't know, there's some like things that don't exist anymore in people. Everyone has kind of like forgotten a very big chunk of communication and ways to kind of, I don't know, interact, where whenever I meet people that have anything that is kind of like deeply human, very simple, but no one does, it fascinates me. I think it's like super interesting. Like,
can you think about, do you have like just right off your mind, like it's very interesting to, I wouldn't like say, if you would ask me this question, I wouldn't say, oh, I like when people tell me stories, like this is just something, you know, that's coming up right now, but just talking about this, like, would you say that you can have something like that? Can you think about something now? They would call like a little bit.
I mean, I don't think I have anything that is so like habitual and obvious, but I don't know. I think that there is like an aspect of me being very happy that doesn't involve anything that was made in the last 30 years or 40 years. Like I think back to like most of the things I do when everything, let's say, is functional and not out of fucking place and time, like now. Like I go to places where there's like no Wi-Fi. There's only like, I don't know, my favorite cafe is a little hole where it's a smoking cafe. Like they have signs, smoking is allowed here 24/7. There's like German papers, little tables, beer, two 70-year-old bartenders that look like Keith Richards, and the other one looks like Simon and Garfunkel kind of mix. And they just are bartenders there. There's nothing like there's even, I think they have like one computer that plays music that is not even visible. They play like anything. The
radio. Maybe they play the radio.
No, they play like playlists, but it's like anything from the 30s, like jazz and weird folk stuff, to super cool indie stuff from the, I don't know, 70s and 90s. But that space to me is like one of the most essential things I've ever, like I go there every 2 or 3 days.
Oh, nice. Is it close to your house?
Yeah, it's like a couple of blocks away. And I only go with like a pen and a bunch of papers and like notebooks and stuff. And I just have a coffee, and then I have 3 or 4 beers, and then I just don't engage with anything other than, I don't know.
That's amazing. You don't even bring like headphones or anything like that.
Nothing electronic. It's only like paper and
really,
pen.
really nice. Yeah, but I can really enjoy those moments, like zoning out. I think it's really important. Like what I come to realize, like lately, like also being in the studio, for me, like I get really, really easily distracted. So what I do is like I turn my phone off. But like, because also people are gonna text you like, which studio are you in? And then you just like, I'm here, and then people just like come and say hello, like, which is super, like, I'm not like, it's super nice. Obviously people want to come and say hello to me, like I'm very happy about that. But at the same time, it's like my flow, like being by myself, like I'm so sorry, just like
never apologize for a burp at the Lazy Eye podcast, honey. This is what we do here.
Burp in the microphones. No, but like getting like in the flow, but also like electronic things overall, like it doesn't have to be being in the studio, but I also feel like my flow overall can like get fucked very easily from electronic stuff. Like just an example is like, for me, if I wake up in the morning and I'm gonna have a really productive day, I'm gonna do this and that, and I'm gonna make a song or like meet this person. Like I cannot start the day watching a series. I cannot watch an episode while eating breakfast because that's fucking up my day in a way, because that makes me, it sort of makes me think back to the time I was a stoner back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm not anymore, but I used to smoke a lot of weed. Like it's sort of the same feeling as like wake and bake. But it's just like, you know, like it's just like it has a trace in the whole day.
Right. Yeah, you don't think much of it until you kind of realize in retrospect the effect that it has.
Yeah.
I have the same thing. I'm not very good at practicing I don't know. What do you call celibacy from
So funny. I thought you were gonna say like practicing the violin. I was like, what?
What? Yeah, I'm not very good at it like every morning because it takes me such a fucking long time to wake up. I always like watch something and it always fucks up my like thought process and kind of like flow.
Just brain deads yourself out a little bit.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know, which makes me think about, I don't know though if you like smoke or anything like, but here like that's also actually a point that I wrote down. I can read the point and then we can
read the point, please. Yeah.
It's actually quite
funny. Is it about stoners? Yeah. Oh yes, I'm so excited about this.
Oh my god! Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is the point. What I wrote down this morning, being like probably waking up a little bit drunk, honestly. Anyway, stoner man culture. What are they doing with their life? Zombie army. My experience. Just talks. Nothing ever happened. Now this is a Swedish quote. Mycket snack, lite verkstad, which means a lot of talk, nothing nothing actually happening. Pretty much.
So far. Okay.
What I want to get with that is just like, yeah, for sure, like we can still get that in the mornings, like, and also with but us probably like not being stoners, but we have a lot of stoners in the school, for example, and it is just like something that me and my roommate talking a lot about like lately. It's just like how all of them are sort of like part of an zombie army. Like I wrote down, like they're just like there's a personality thing.
Yeah.
Very strong personality thing that you just like as soon as you become a stoner, everyone gets this, and that's why everyone in my eyes becomes the same, because you get lazy and you say things, oh that's so cool, but you never really do them. Like I don't know if I'm so very harsh.
I'm so ready for this. I'm ready to fucking pop. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lazy Eye podcast. We took a break. We recorded some stuff in the beginning. I don't know what the order is gonna be because we got into a
rant.
We got into a rant about school. It's been an intense time. I'm trying shit out. I'm dressed like I could be at an office or like a Greek restaurant.
I'm very curious what you have underneath that top though.
Yeah, this is my interpretation of my outfit. Is if I worked in an office, but then they dragged me into HR because I did this.
Oh my god, I love that. That's amazing.
I think this is my mom's top. I stole it from Athens. I went into her wardrobe and just stole it and brought it to Berlin. We're back. We've been a little bit cray this week at the Lazy Eye. I don't know. I mean, you live the lifestyle in Berlin a little bit more than I do. I feel like it's been like a very recent renaissance in my social life in Berlin, and it kind of started last week. Sunday was like Beatrice's birthday, and we were at the party together, which was it was a really fun experience for me. It was like I hadn't had so much kind of like easy social fun in a while.
Yeah.
And then so basically we went to Emma's place at like 2 p.m. You woke up with Bea and did like mimosas and pancakes.
I made her, I got her, like my goal was to get her very much shit-faced, because then the thing was that we were gonna surprise her. So like Paris, like already you were, and with a couple other friends, you were at Emma's house. Yes. And you're preparing like balloons and cake and stuff like that. So my only goal was to get Bea really, really drunk, which I did. I succeeded. But the thing was that I didn't think about that because I blindfolded her because I didn't want her to know where we were going, right?
That was
It was just
so
gonna be a
good, by the way.
surprise. But what I didn't think about was that if you're gonna bring a blindfolded person, you should probably be pretty sober yourself, which I didn't think about. And so I sort of I brought her over, but I was also in a state that I was not able to fulfill it.
How long was she blindfolded for?
She was blindfolded for probably an hour.
What?
Yeah, because we took the wrong way, and then I took a detour because I didn't want her to understand. Because from our house to Emma's house is just a bus, and she knows the bus. So we took a detour, and she's had to pee 5 times during the whole thing, and she just she was like, Malva, I'm blindfolded, I don't even care where I pee. She just peed in the streets, right? And she also as soon as she gets vodka drunk, she want to touch my panani real bad, so she started harassing me in the street, trying to finger me, and I'm just honey, this is not the time, but but it was really funny, and screaming and shouting and dancing. And
that's very interesting, what a blindfolded person would do.
Right?
Yeah, because it's isn't it weird that it's exactly the same, but at the same time not at all? You would do shit, you not seeing them makes them not exist a little bit in your brain, which is a very interesting thing. I love that.
It is, and we talked about that, starting to do that for all of our friends' birthday, from here on now, because she thought it was such a good experience to bring people somewhere. It doesn't even have to be somewhere fancy. We can just bring people wherever and just experience of getting blindfolded. I know that she also really likes that, and then it was just she was really going crazy in the streets, and the girl in the bus, she was screaming at us, and Bea was screaming. She didn't even care, she didn't even hear. She just was dancing with the music, screaming. I was afraid she's gonna puke because she was on the bus blindfolded with headphones.
Oh my God.
I think that I would puke.
That is sensory deprivation to a level that I don't think I've ever experienced. Blasting music, no eyesight.
Yeah, in the bus. Also, the buses in Berlin, they go very
insane.
swirly, here and there and here. They stop really, I felt I was gonna puke, honestly. But did you have a good time at the party?
Oh, it was fucking, yeah.
Wasn't it that the first time we actually partied together?
Oh yeah, that was the first time we properly hang out after doing the podcast.
Yeah.
And hanging out that night a little bit. That was the first time that I got to properly hang out with you guys, and it was so much fun. So much, ridiculous amount of fun. I felt super comfortable and super which doesn't happen a lot. I mean, I'm easily comfortable in social situations. I don't have
see that.
But at the same time, I think I pulled every level of familiarity with you in one day.
Mm-hmm.
It was that's the 90% of it was in one day, which was super fun.
Yeah.
With people that you're not that familiar with, but at the same time you feel really familiar with.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
But some people you just sort of get to know right away, and you're just right away comfortable, and you're right away you feel you can really relax in their presence, and you just blur everything out about yourself and the other person. I think that a lot of a relationship doesn't go that way. And for me, it's very speaking when a relationship goes that way. I have a friend that then she sometimes, when she's hungover, she's singing a little bit, she's tripping out about that. Oh my God, did we guys get to know each other too fast? Because we got so close so fast. Yeah. But I'm always telling her no, honey, don't worry about it, because I think that the relationship that will last, and that's actually meant to be, is the relationship that just sort of happens, and you're just standing there how did this even happen? But now I'm just naked in front of this person, I don't even care.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it doesn't mean that there's no more room to get to know each other. I think it just means that instead of going from A to I don't know, half the alphabet, from A to K in 1 year, and then from K to Z in another year you just go straight to Y, and then the last kind of 10% can last 10 years. But you just go through this initial thing that to me it's like very boring at this point, getting to meet people in a way that's like super slow and building. I don't know. I feel like I'm at this point where it's like, here's 90% of me. Does this work or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like it just because I think I don't have a lot of patience, which might be a bad thing, but I don't have that much patience to just assume that this thing that doesn't have a lot of chemistry will work out in 6 months because of familiarity. It shouldn't be like that.
No, for sure. Do you want me to open your beer, by the way?
Oh, I think I still have
nice.
my second. Thanks, honey.
Of course, but I definitely agree with you. I think that it's really something that I've been trying out lately. Like whenever I get to know new people, I just sort of I'm very explicit, like as you probably know, and like you know, I talk very openly about my experiences and stuff like that, and that's sort of what I don't hide that side of myself anymore, which I might used to do in the past.
Me too.
But what I'm trying out is just to be like right away, just like talk about, you know, it can be simple things as just like a poop experience, or like, you know, just like a group sex experience or whatever, and then you can sort of try that person out a little bit. Like,
I love
is
that
it
shit
working
so
or
much. That is my favorite thing in like on earth, to just go to someone that you've never talked to before and tell them like 3 straight stories, and one is like a cross-dressing and wearing makeup story, the other one is a diarrhea story, and the other one is like a group sex story. You're like, okay, this is the extent of me. Like, how do you react to this? It's, to me, it's like a very interesting, like, oversharing, not to prove a point, just because this is what I have to offer.
This is who I am.
This is me, you guys.
This is my. But I thought it was really, really cool to, like, because we did the last podcast with you, sharing is caring, that one, and we just we sort of, I listened back to it, and it was one point where I was talking about diarrhea, one point where I was talking about how much I like anal, like one point where I was talking about, you know, all of these things where I'm just like listening back to it, I'm just like, oh my god, this is actually on Spotify. But also another part of me thinking that it's like really beautiful that I don't even know you, like here we are, 3 girls like coming in to your podcast, and we're just like blah, 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 like we're going at it.
It was lovely.
So hard.
It was lovely, because also, I mean, it's not like, I mean, the people who listen to the podcast are very like a select group of kind of like people that know that shit anyway. Like, it's not like we don't have reach. It's just like, I don't know, some of my friends from Greece, some of our friends from Berlin, and then a couple of other people. Like, that's the demographic. So I think it's really nice. I think it creates like to me, it's like endearing when people show up and talk about any experience that most people would talk about with shame, but they talk about it like they went to the Spedi to get a beer. To me, like, that's also like a little bit inspirational, not to get like too, you know what I mean? It's because so many people struggle with their identity and their preferences and what they go through generally, that those conversations will only happen with someone very intimate, very late at night, drunk, and just like, yes, I did that. Where I think normalizing it is very important as well. Just talking about, I don't know, dicks, pananis, bad experiences, good experiences, diarrhea. It's like all those things, just to me, like, I'd rather talk about that than anything else and pretend for an hour like this is interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, I think that it's very interesting, actually.
It is.
And I do feel like sometimes with me and my friends, like, I can think like, oh god, like, are we too like hung up on like dates, like fucking like but then it makes me think about like we're living in a very, like, that's what we got right now, like that's what makes it like fun. And like a very a thing that happened to me last week, which made me think about when you get kicks, like adrenaline kicks, which you don't really have so much of right now. And there was just like a dude with hair that was cute hair, I didn't even see his
hair.
It was a dude with the hair. I didn't even see his face. I just was like, that's cute hair. And like I was in the studio, he was walking past, and I thought for some reason that he would come and knock on my studio door. And anyway, like it was like 9:30 and school closes here at 10. So the people working in the school, they usually come around 9:30 and they knock on the door and they say like, hello, it's time to pack up, like, you know, go home.
Come on, bitch, we have a house to go as well. Yeah, we have a home as well.
Oh yeah, I wish. No, but he just a dude working in the school, he just came and he knocked on the door, and it gave me the worst adrenaline kick, or the best, I don't even know. Yeah. Because I thought it was this dude with the hair. Yeah. Which it was not, but that just made me think about shit, like we don't really have so many experiences with adrenaline kicks these days. So like the little things, like I just like I remember like I felt like I was like shaking a little bit, like the blood was pumping like a little bit harder, and I was just fuck, I missed this. Like I really like, when did you the last time, Paris? Like when did you have a adrenaline kick?
Yeah, it was, so I had a little bit on Sunday. Just because I didn't...
Tell me about that. We haven't talked about that, but I know that you were on an adventure a little bit.
Yeah, so that was Monday. So Sunday we're together. I had a little bit of an adrenaline kick on Sunday just because I hadn't been in such a free and easy environment for a very long time. So it was kind of like this, I feel super comfortable, but there's a little bit of like... these like it's new people, but I feel like super comfortable. It was like a nice adrenaline of like... This is nice again, like after a long ass time. Mm-hmm. And then on Monday, so that was like a 13-hour little like day party, whatever. Like I think it was 2 p.m. we were there. I think we left at like probably 2 a.m.
from
like,
Emma's place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like 12 hours. So it was like 12 hours. So then we go back home. I have to wake up at 9:30 because I have a class.
At Sunday?
Monday.
Oh,
so that
Monday.
was Sunday night.
Oh, right. Then we partied on Sunday, yeah.
We partied on Sunday.
Oh, God.
So then I went home at like 2:30. I slept at 4, woke up at 9 after 5 hours. Super hangover because we're drinking for fucking ever.
Vodka Rashnovia.
I think I had mostly beer and rum.
Oh, you did?
Thank God Sabrin brought rum, because vodka fucks me up. Like vodka, I'll get like a slutty lower back tattoo on vodka. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll get it sober as well. But
vodka is sort of like you get the blackout drinks. So you're just like, what did I do? Yeah. Honestly, like there's one experience like during that night on when we were celebrating our friend on Sunday.
Yeah.
There was one experience in the end of the night that I don't know if I told you about, but that's pretty scary, but I'm not sure like what happened because of the vodka. So like I sort of blacked out a little bit, but me and Bia were going home together. It's my roommate. So we're gonna go take the bus, and for some reason we lost each other in the street, right? And like we tried thinking about it. We're like, why didn't we like stick together? But anyway, so I was apparently out in the street by myself. I don't remember this at all. And all of a sudden, I know Emma and Sabrin, they come on a lime. They're like, you know, coming to get me. And then, but my instinct, they worked because I texted Bia, help. I was like, this dude, like he wasn't like, so this dude didn't like let me go. So I couldn't go anywhere because he kept holding me back and trying to push his face against mine. Yes, it's very horrible. But anyway,
baby.
But they came and they took me home. So that was amazing. But anyway, that's also the backside of the
Fuck. Yeah. I mean,
of the vodka drinks. Like
I remember how you left. It was intense.
Yeah, we were pretty drunk.
Yeah. Like I think our last interaction at that party was like super weird.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was that?
So because at that party I was wearing your dress and you were wearing my clothes, so we switched clothes, which was beautiful.
You looked so cute in my dress though. In the pictures, I'm just like,
oh yeah, like, I think that's gonna be the cover of this episode. By the way, I think that's
Paris
gonna be
in my clothes, me and Paris is.
It was beautiful. But so what happened is, like 20 minutes before you left, you were like we were talking. It was amazing. Like we were talking about doing this podcast, and we're talking about stuff. And then like you have that thing that I've experienced with vodka, which is the switch.
Oh, yeah.
Which you go from good to not good at all. And the funniest thing is, like, before you left, you were trying to like get your clothes back and me, Michael, but you weren't in a space where you could understand what's going on. So you thought I was wearing your tights as well. But you were wearing your tights. So you were trying to get your tights back from me. And I was trying to explain, honey, these are my tights. We're wearing the same tights. You're wearing yours. This is your dress. And so you were like, no, you have. So like you were trying to. And I'm like, no, baby, these are like mine. But then you realized it. And so, but you got your dress and you left without wearing it. So it was like you and Bea and you were leaving. And you were just wearing tights and underwear, and you just left. I'm like, baby, you're gonna freeze to death, and you're also gonna be nude going home. And I'm like, fuck. But like listening to the flip side of that is fucking scary.
It's very scary, and it's like, I mean, like stuff like that has happened to me before. But what scares me and what like disgusts me too, a little bit, like it's hard to not take it on yourself, I guess. But it's which is like. Sort of sad in a way, but like,
it is.
But getting yourself that fucking drunk so that you can't remember, and then you experience something, like super unpleasant. I don't know. I just remember the morning. I was like, today we're gonna get drunk, and I was just like, fuck yeah, like it's your birthday, like, and then like that thing happens in the night where I'm just like, but I'm just glad that somehow like. Something's working back there so that I'm texting my friends like, help, I'm here, come get me. You know, like
there's definitely like, I think at that moment, there's like, I think when fear kicks in, however drunk you are, even if you don't remember, there's like this survival instinct kicking in of like, I need to make sure that I get out of this.
Yeah, for sure.
But I understand what you're saying, which is like, it's such a weird thing that you keep yourself accountable only because we live in a society where you cannot be fully safe. So it's kind of like you kind of like are mad at yourself for getting yourself at that point, but the reality is you should be mad at the society we live in, that you cannot have a day where at the end of it you're just not there anymore.
Yeah. You can just go out and be safe, for sure. Yeah,
it's fucking disturbing.
But we don't have to talk about. It's also like pretty like a downer. I don't know.
I know.
Like I think that, but overall though, like vodka drinks are like. Have you usually had vodka drinks in the past? Like, do you have memories of something that? For me, like I've done my craziest shit on the vodka drinks.
Yeah, I've never been vodka drunk after 2 experiences where like I just don't have vodka in my life because of those, like, but I was like 15. Like I started with vodka, it fucked me up, so now just the taste brings me back. Like I can't have vodka.
But how can you taste? For me, I can't really even taste the difference between liquor and liquor. Like I'm just like, is it vodka, is it rum? Like I can't
really.
But you used to work in a bar, right?
Yeah, I can't.
So what I've heard about people working in bars is that you drink a lot when you're working.
Oh yeah.
It's like that.
Oh yeah, the most alcohol I've consumed was also at the same time I had to be the most responsible version of myself. But like the most like the biggest amount of alcohol I've consumed is probably during nights where I like. No, honey, you can burp. This is a free burp zone. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like the drunkest I've ever been, as far as not as far as emotionally, but like physically, like quantity, was probably during a night where I was working for like 11 hours and turned out hundreds of drinks. But you drink a lot, just because you have access to it.
Yeah, of course. But is it that thing where? I don't know. I never worked as a bartender.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have so many questions for you. But like, is it that thing where like you like in the movies, right? You see some pretty person and you're just like let's have a shot together. It's on me. Or like
It
things like that.
actually is a little bit,
is,
sadly. Yeah, I mean, I was
People
never.
hitting on you a lot.
Not me, other bartenders. Yeah, I was a little.
What
Yeah, because
you're so cute.
yeah, I mean, I mean, like, thank you. No, but also like back then, I was very young, and I looked at like I started working like in bars when I was 17. So it's like from 17 to 20, I looked like a kid.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, there's a couple, like, I've had experiences just working in bars where it's just so much easier at a certain point. It happened, like, just before I left for Berlin, like, the last year and a half where I was working in Greece. Yeah, like, it starts, like, once you feel also, like, comfortable and you exert, it's easy because you have so much control. And also the reality is that if a girl is at the bar and there's like assholes sitting on her, and you are a kind of like stable presence that can also kind of help facilitate a safer space, there is a little bit of a dynamic there. But it's not like I ever got super like late because of it, like 3 or 4 times in 3 years. Like it wasn't a thing for me. But yeah, like especially with the shots, but in Greece everyone buys shots to everyone. Like shots in Greece are more vital to the economy than euros.
I should like I don't like I want to ask you how much a shot is, because I know like a shot in Sweden at the club is probably, if I'm gonna because we have kronor, like we don't have euros, but if I transfer it to euros, I think it's gonna be a shot in the club 11 euros. 12. Like
what?
11, 12 euros, yeah, for a shot, like 4 centiliters.
Okay, in Berlin, it's cheaper than Athens, actually.
It is, really.
Athens, like, drink is between 6 and 8 euros, and shot is between 2.50 and 3-4 euros. In Berlin...
Oh, God.
Goodbye, light. It's fine. Yeah, in Berlin, I think it's even cheaper than that. But yeah, no, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. But no one, like, I like no one that I know of go to the clubs, like the real clubs. There are really good underground parties in Stockholm. Yeah. But the real clubs, like the ones that, like, you know, they're like the bars, they're just there. No one that I know go to those places anymore because it got so expensive. Like you have to pay like
wouldn't even
50 euros to get in, and then a beer is 7 or even more. What? And you have to like pay to go to the bathroom. Like you have to pay for everything. So like you end up with, and then maybe you want to do like something funny. Like I don't know. Like you end up with a night, like I don't know, like 200 euros night. Yeah, it's like I feel like the only people that does that fucking rich asses.
Yeah, no, that's the fun thing about Berlin and Athens. Like, because there's such a strong bar culture, you can just go out with 15 euros and have a great night.
Like in Berlin.
Yeah.
But you're from Athens, like, originally?
Yeah, like, Athens, like, center of the city. My mom had a bar from when I was 9.
Oh, yeah.
My dad had a restaurant before I was even born. So I kind of grew up around adults and bars and restaurants, and... Yeah, it was a little fun.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, I want to get into.
Yeah, I want to ask you if you prepared anything, because I know that I talked about stoner men, which I wanted to talk about, but I also have a couple of other things that I wrote down.
I want to touch on stoner men again, because last time we got into a school thing. Yeah. Here's my issue with stoners generally. It's like I am pro anyone that wants to use any substance. Yeah. For their benefit or their enjoyment. I'm like 100% with you. My issue is I hate hanging out with people. Like, I don't mind drunk or high people to any extent, except stoners, just because they're the opposite of my energy. Mm-hmm. Like, and I get it, because if I smoke weed and we're hanging out, I might be with like one of my favorite people, my dream girl or my dream guy or whatever it is. Yeah. And if I smoke a little bit of weed, I want them to disappear, and I want to just get in bed and watch silly stuff. I get it. Like, to me, it's like the most isolative substance ever. but I hate hanging out with stoners when I'm like not.
Oh
Even
my
when I'm
God,
stoned, but especially if I'm not stoned, I'm like, you got like, okay, let's do something. No, dude, let's just let's just
can we
chill.
just chill?
Can we just chill?
No, I know what you're talking about though, because it's like, as soon as you get to know someone and they're like, do you wanna just like smoke? And then it's just like honestly, it's like, it's so fucking boring. Like we could do like a fucking banger right now.
Yeah.
Like we could do whatever.
Have you watched Rick and Morty? It's so fucking good.
The only extent where I can see myself hanging out with the stoner is like a hookup, like a late night hookup for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care if I go home to a person late at night and like it's a Tinder, like I don't even know, like it could be, and they are just like smoking a joint. I don't care. But if it's what I've realized recently is that I cannot have close friends that's stoners. Yeah. Like I can't. Like all my like really stoner friends that I've had in the past sort of just like drifted away.
Yeah, I relate to that. It's like not on my own time. Like if it's like a night where like we're doing, I don't know, if like it's under some pretenses, I can enjoy it. But it's like if it's in my daily thing, I feel, I just lost 3 hours getting out 3 sentences. Like I don't want to do this.
Yeah, of course. And I just feel like there's like all of them that you meet. It's like something that my dad always told me, that he was like, because he was like anti-drugs, which I like, and which I was always like, Dad, you're sneaking, like you're not making sense. But I actually come to the realization that he was right. And the thing that he said was just like, as soon, Malva, as you start smoking weed, you put a pause on your life. So you're not going to grow in your head until you stop.
Yeah.
So you're going to stay you're going to stay the age that you were when you started smoking. And you're not going to, you're going to stay that age. That's just what he said. And I think that is honestly very close to true. I think that he's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Daddy, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, I started smoking weed when I was like 15, but it was never my thing. Like,
no.
I did it a little bit when I was 15 and 16 because it was like rebellion and whatever, new thing. But there was never a time in my life where that was my shit.
No.
I never went well with me. Except like a couple of summers where you're like at a beach in Greece and on an island.
Sure,
and you like
special times.
This, where it's amazing. But in my daily life, it only causes me wanting to avoid everything, and like it's never fun. It's never fun.
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. It never like really resonated with me either. I had an ex-girlfriend though. Like we met in Berlin. Super fun, like we had a good time here. We just had beers and we worked and stuff. And then she asked me, Malva, now I've been in Berlin for a year. Do you want to come to Barcelona, like for me? And I just sort of came with her, and we lived there. And like all of the friends that we made there was already her friends.
Yeah.
And everybody smoking and stuff like that. Anyway, like we started smoking a lot, like everything that I can remember from my like year in Barcelona, it was just like in our bedroom, eating chips, like cooking food, like having the heat, because the heaters in Barcelona, in fact, like the windows like are cracked, and the in the winter, you know, like, oh my God, it's so like the winter is really short, but it's very fucking cold. Like
I appreciate that a lot, because I love when like people that come from really cold countries understand the struggle of, in the south of Europe, it's colder than in the north, because the houses are colder than the outside, and cold just becomes your reality. Where here, I'd rather have like minus 10 degrees outside, but my room is boiling hot, than 5 degrees outside and 8 degrees in my house. Yeah.
And I remember in this apartment that we were renting at the time, we had one heater that was portable, like it was, so it's not in the wall or anything, But the thing that we did was that, okay, we're going to go to the kitchen now. We were such a stoners back then. Oh my God. But then we're going to go to the kitchen. We're going to make food. And then we took the heater like a little dog. Like we had the strap and we're like dragging it after us. Like, and then the heater was there. So we had just a fucking one. Oh my God.
I know.
But anyway, like that part of my life, like looking back, anyway, I still love this girl. Like she's amazing. And we're still really good friends. But just that year of my life in Barcelona, I feel like that was the worst probably year of my life. Honestly.
I think that's the thing that the problem I have with weed is that if you spend 1 year in Barcelona and it's not amazing and it's because you're smoking weed every day, like fuck weed then.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I get how like important it can be for some people. They're actually like battling with some stuff.
Yeah.
But this kind of like stoner mentality about everything in life, get over it.
Yeah.
Like if your entire culture is around not doing shit, and how cool it is to not do shit, I cannot relate. I'm sorry. Like to me, it's just like a waste of.
Yeah.
A waste of potential. Like so many cool people that I know that just don't do shit because I'd rather just smoke a joint.
Just like I wrote down the Swedish expression, like, you know, mycket snack, lite verkstad, but it means just like talking a lot, nothing going on.
It's
like,
talking a lot, not saying anything.
Yeah, talking a lot, not doing any fucking shit. Like that's what I feel like. Oh my God, your music's so great. Like, do you want to like collab like someday? And then I'm just like, how about Wednesday, Sunday? Like for me, like I can Wednesday, Sunday. Like what time's great for you?
I know, and then never.
Like I don't even know. Like maybe, maybe. Let's just see. And it's never gonna happen. So there's just like a lot of talking, a very little shit happening. Are you going to pee, sweetie?
Yes, I'm going to pee. Short break. Everyone realized that. Yes,
getting
just
ready.
Nervousness and movement. Okay.
No, where are you heading with this?
So where I'm heading with. Okay, so we told the story of that day very loosely because the details are. You can get the details by emailing us at the lazyeyeheadquarters@gmail.com, and we will give you some saucy information about that day, which was very fun. But you don't get it on the podcast. That's the OnlyFans account that we're gonna set up with some of the pictures and some of the content. Okay, so I wake up for the class, super hangover, and the only thing I have to do that day is that class and go to the Greek restaurant where I live my white trash Greek dream of being a fucking immigrant and working at a Greek restaurant. It's very sad sometimes. I think I've told a couple of stories on this podcast. If I haven't, I will at some point go deeper into that fucking rabbit hole. It's
maybe you should do a one-on-one sometime.
A one-on-one with myself. Just like I might do like a 45-minute podcast where I just talk about the sadness that is being Greek in Berlin and working in a Greek restaurant with fucking hillbillies. But that's for another episode. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the class and I'm going to go to the restaurant to get a check. And that's my day. And then I can recover through that day. I have nothing to do. So as I finished the class, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the restaurant around like 6. And a really good friend of mine lives right above that restaurant in that building. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to text her just because I will see her for like half an hour and then go home and fucking pass out. So I go to her place after the restaurant and she's with her girlfriend from Athens who has like come here for like a month. And another guy that I've met before who's like a hairdresser, cool guy, he fucks a lot and just hangs out there. I guess I get a bit triggered sometimes, but it's fine. So I'm there and they've ordered some drugs and I'm like, I'm not gonna take part in this. I'm already too fucked up. I'm gonna have a beer with you guys and go. Then another guy comes in who apparently he's also a hairdresser and he owns like a bar in Athens. Everyone knows the bar that my mom owned in Athens. So we start this conversation about Athens and bars, and we have like so many mutual friends that we just start telling stories. So then the drugs arrive, we go and get like 15 beers. So all of a sudden, like I was supposed to be there for like half an hour, and now we have like 10 beers in front of us. Drugs that I'm not gonna specify because my mom may listen to this. No, like no, there was some coke there in like an open tray, and it was like a very like whoever wants to partake the dust. Yeah.
Can you go on my bike to get more after the.
Oh yes, and
Yes.
you can almost like fully have. We can share that if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm like all of a sudden after like that fucking like. I love that you have that. How do you call it? Snooze.
Yeah.
I think I should try it at some point because I haven't. I don't think I'm going to do it now. Non-Scandinavian people tell me it's disgusting.
Yeah,
And
people usually say that. But this one is not even Swedish. It just says on the thing, like it says, born in Sweden, but not really from
But
Sweden.
bred
so,
in different
don't trust
places.
this shit,
I
honestly.
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, if you were saying.
Anyway, so all of a sudden, like I'm in this situation, and I'm already so hangover and so tired. But it's like once
But
you.
you're going. I have to give you like that you were going really strong, though, because I know the day that we had the day before,
Yeah.
and I know how I felt like waking up.
Yeah, and also I never had a nap. You all had power naps. You all had like we were like me and Colette were just like drinking and like staying awake through the whole thing, like just 13 hours of mayhem. So anyway, so now I'm there, and all of a sudden, like I don't know, it goes like 9 p.m. Like I was there from like 6:30 or something, and like we're high, we're drunk, we're getting even drunker, and at this point I'm like super fucked up, and I get a message on Field, and I'm like,
love Field.
I haven't been on Field in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, we saw you on Field though.
I saw you on Field as well.
Yeah, because we have all an account together.
I know. I liked you guys, and you didn't like me back.
What?
I was like,
I'm not. I would love to like you back.
yeah, you didn't like me back, and I was like, I wasn't expecting you to like me back, literally, but I was expecting like the fun, hey, like the fun interaction of like just some jokes, but it never. Anyway.
I would have liked you back anyway.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I didn't know that we did though. I thought that we did.
Who was controlling that Field account?
I think Emma's controlling.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to her.
I'm just their partner, so they're in charge of the likings. But like it just says on our Field account that Emma and Bia are having the profile, and I'm just their partner on the side, the sidekick.
The sidekick. I'm Robin. Okay, yeah, that's. Okay, okay. So I get like a message on Field.
Yeah.
And I haven't used it in a couple of weeks, and I'm like, what's... So it's this girl that I liked 3 weeks ago. We matched. I texted her, and she never replied back, which was very expected, because she was way, like...
She's extremely hot. You sent me a picture.
Yeah, like
oh my God.
Beatrice, like, saw her profile. I'll show you, like, her profile, and, like, had an orgasm in the stairs and just went to the studio.
Surprise me.
Yeah. It's it stuck out to me, like this was probably like a mistake, like this, it didn't add up. And she starts texting me, and I'm like, what is happening? So I'm like, oh, fucking high and drunk after a Sunday that was intense as well. And so we start texting and flirting, and within half an hour she sends me her address and like info, and she's like, if you wanna come over. And I'm like, okay, this might be a one-time like opportunity, so I kind of have to take advantage. And she lives in Schöneweide,
where we live, which is fucking crazy.
But for like non-Berlin people, I was in Kreuzberg, she's in Schöneweide. That's like 9 kilometers. Like it's
pretty far.
Like it takes a lot of motivation.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I kind of decided to do it. It's 11:30 now. I'm fucked up. I was already fucked up, and now like I'm going to Schöneweide, taking the S-Bahn, and like I fucking get there. But like one train is like cancelled, so it takes me fucking 45 minutes to get there. So I get there, and it's like the entrance looks like a crack den, and I'm like, okay, one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen send me her address in 30 minutes, it's probably gonna be 5 guys that are gonna either rape me or get my organs and sell them. Like, I'm starting to get like bad vibes out of it. Like,
oh god.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's not very believable in my experience that this is like just a hot girl that's like, yeah, come over. So anyway, I ring the bell, I go upstairs, and it's her, and it's literally like probably one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life, wearing like a silk short nightgown, and I go into her room, and she has like 3 monitors, like 3 computer monitors and like a setup. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And she's like, oh, I'm a project manager where I deal with like 25 web developers for gaming companies, and I have to kind of like direct their entire schedule, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. Like,
it's
not
real, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, it's like I have nothing to offer here. Like, I feel like way out of place. And so then like we start like talking a little bit. She didn't notice it because I asked her afterwards. Like, it wasn't evident. That was on such a different wavelength. But I'm like, this is like a very subtle thing, and I'm way too fucked up from the last 2 days to be like super. And I was like super worried that was gonna be too intense and obviously like high and drunk or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, like we start flirting, and then okay, this is one of my questions, I guess, because here's like what happens to me is when I feel a bit vulnerable sexually, I don't want to use my penis at all. Like first time with someone, especially if I feel a little bit intimidated, especially in that situation, like I'd rather go down for 2 hours or do something than receive anything. I think I'm also like I'm a little bit nervous, but also like too afraid to be like a straight guy that just kind of like is like here like to fuck you in a mediocre way and then go. That I get like too conscious of that. I mean, I was also like a bit coked up, and like coke dick, as everyone knows, is not the best dick to have anyways. So it was like, I think it was like a lot of factors, but I had this. So like, I wonder like on your side, like if you, like how do you deal with, because also like with a dick, it's super obvious. But if you're a woman, it's like a lot of time, like guys cannot tell. And then like, how do you cope with, or like, do you feel always kind of like comfortable in a like first interaction with someone, or is it, because for me it's like super intimidating sometimes, and I would rather not have any sort of direct pleasure or anything, just to facilitate a nice space where we both feel comfortable, than just awkwardly fuck.
I know what you mean. I don't know, like I usually have a really easy time coming, and I do, like, for me, like a lot of times, since I have a partner already, like when I have sex, like that's not with him, it's a lot about having sex, like for the fun of it, right? Like when me and my friends usually, like, we enjoy having the orgies, and we like to have threesomes and foursomes and stuff like that. Like, that's for the fun of it, right? But I also do, like, this week I tend to go on sex rounds, where if I have sex one night, I can't stop. So I went to this person, and then I went to the next day, like, I want to keep on doing that. So I was so tired from the night before, but I was just like still like going over to this next person. I don't know, what was your question? Like,
I guess to me, because like, I don't know, I think there's another question getting born through what you were saying. I mean, my thing is that, like, first time interactions with people, I'm sometimes very nervous. Not.
Oh yeah, I remember what you're talking about. No, like, I honestly don't get super nervous with like Sorry.
That was
That's a
beautiful.
verb. But I don't get that. But I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I have a partner. Like I'm
Yeah.
poly, right? But I only have one partner right now. But I'm very open
Yeah.
to stuff. But I'm right away. As soon as I'm seeing someone, I'm just telling them like, just so you know, like I have a partner, I have a boyfriend, like so
Yeah.
just so you know. And then for like usually that sort of like cuts it off a little bit.
Yeah, and
Which I
facilitates.
like.
Yeah,
I
it's
have to
actually,
say I have to say that I really enjoy it. Because I'm not looking for anything serious at all. So that also for me takes away the nervousness or everything.
I see that a lot.
I can just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, just like I'm in a relationship, like I'm just here to fuck you, and it's quite fun. Like
It is, yeah. No, I really get that. And I think like my nervousness is not like I'm not nervous about sex, or it's not like anymore, it's not even about like confidence. Like I feel so much more confident than I used to be in a very more subtle way. But I think it's just like because all of my friends are women and queer people, and I never hang out with straight people,
yeah,
all I hear is their perspective on stuff, which I obviously appreciate, and that's why like that's the only perspective I want to have, to be fair. But I think I've been developing a fear of not of like I never want to be the guy that someone has a bad experience with.
yeah, sure,
That
yeah.
it has become a little bit of like a subconscious fear where I would rather not like at this point most sexual encounters I haven't thought of just like I don't even care about coming that much
Yeah,
to an extent where it's just it's a consuming fear of being one of those guys that I've been
yeah,
trying to kind of like escape, which I've never really been. But I had like, I mean, when I was a teenager, I was a little bit of a, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's this weird nervousness where like I never want to be that guy, basically.
yeah. I can really understand that, but I think that like I don't know. I think that's like depending so much on what you're looking for because, like, I don't know. I don't think that I'm not saying that I think that you're looking for a relationship, but
Yeah.
like if you're already in one where you're like sexually like very happy, then
Yeah.
people that there's this assumption like to me as a poly person like, but like Malva, like why aren't you like satisfied? Right? You have this.
Oh, yeah,
you have this person that like fulfills like because my boyfriend really does like it's amazing. Like I'm very pleased, but then people have this assumption like, so why do you want to see other people? And I can tell you why I want to see other people. Like I want to see other people for the excitement and for the fun of meeting someone new in a sexual way.
So
it's
obvious.
extremely fun and like, you know, getting to know people in that way. So then I like, you know, just thinking about that, like don't be insecure about that because I think that just knowing like I'm not saying that everyone's poly and everyone has a boyfriend already, but I'm just saying like you're not meeting the person to have your best come of your life. You're meeting the person for the excitement.
Oh yeah.
And you're meeting the person for the thrill, like for the adrenaline kick. Like it's very fucking fun to just like
I know it is.
see someone new and like, you know, talk. Like the talks are even more important.
Oh
like,
yeah, I think
the
that
actual sex.
the chemistry and the situation is always more interesting than the act.
Yeah.
To me, that's like clear. I think the hottest like moment of that night for me, for example, was at some point we're like making out and cuddling mid like situations, and like that, like those moments to me like turn me on more than anything else.
Yeah.
During that, I don't know.
But can you think, Paris, like your best one night stand that only happened once?
Yeah.
And that will never happen again. Like, do you have one of those?
Yeah. This is also one of the things that we're talking about. Yes. Okay. Have you ever? This is to. I think this is like a shallow thing that a lot of people kind of carry, but there's times where like when it's people that society is deemed gorgeous and I myself find them gorgeous, and there's kind of like a meet of those two.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous. And then there's times where I hook up with people that there's been a couple of times where I even hooked up with people that I don't find that attractive, or I've hooked up with people that I find attractive but no one else really does that much, where I feel so much more comfortable. And it's I hate this realization because it means that like my self-esteem is defined by what society deems as unattainable and what society deems as attainable, which is very sad to me. But the best one night stands I've had were with people that I wasn't that interested in.
Yeah.
With people that I had like zero stakes in, so I could be like where I didn't care on the outcome at all.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I think like the best one night stand I've had was the summer. I think it was the summer of like 2017. I was working in an island for like 4 months, bartender like in an island. So you spend your entire time there. You're alone. You just work for 12 hours a day, and then the rest maybe you go for a swim, but that's it. Like you do that for months on.
That's amazing.
It can be amazing, but it's also very stressful because you're isolated. None of your friends are there. You're stuck in an island, and you're working every day. So it kind of becomes
Every day, like 7 days a week.
yeah.
Really?
I mean, at that island, I would get a day off a week because it's very close to Athens. So people come in and out. But when you work at an island deeper in the sea, then you just work every day because there's no ability to go back and forth. So like do you need 3 bartenders? 3 bartenders work every day for 4 months. It's a lot. But so like I was there, and then it's kind of like September now. It's the end of the season. I've worked for like 3 or 4 months, and you know the people in the island, and everyone has a crush on someone. So there was like this girl that was flirting with me throughout the season, and I wasn't that interested in. We hooked up, like we made out a couple of times, but that was the extent of it.
Because of that attraction, do you think? Like you weren't super attracted?
I wasn't super attracted.
Okay,
I was like, but it's like you've been stuck in that island for a long time. So anything that makes you excited, you kind of follow through sometimes just to get that excitement because you feel stuck. So it's kind of like the last 3 days that I'm on the island, and I'm running the bar on my own at this point. Everyone has left. And I'm like, for a week, the bar is mine. The bosses have left. The bar, like, it's just me.
Yeah.
And the people that work in the island. So it's like me and like 25 people that come every night, and we just like do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
So it's. Oh no, it's just people passing through. I thought like someone was coming in.
Me too. It sounded like it.
Sounded so fucking close. Yeah, so like at this point, the bar is like, I'm fucking running it. We're playing like crazy shit is happening every night because it was like super chill throughout the entire season. Yeah. And then with 20 people from the island, it's getting fucking like people
I
are
can
doing
imagine. It
so much fucking
very
fun.
much fun. I would love to visit you there.
Yeah, that is a very fun experience that I always, even though I've shit on Greece a lot, the thing that I always talk about with people is that a summer in islands in Greece, it doesn't, like, there's nothing that can relate to that for me. It's like such a unique experience. It's so niche and it's fucking amazing. Like it's amazing.
Imagine. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But so you had one of your night best.
That was best one night stand ever. Like she was hooking up with another guy.
But how did that happen? Like
so like I was working.
Okay.
Playing techno at a place where they didn't play techno before that. Like playing techno.
Like, I really like this music.
Yeah.
What's this?
Playing techno, and everyone like that was working in the most fucking like hillbilly people. Like everyone's dancing to techno all of a sudden.
Oh, nice.
Like playing like her sets, like Berlin her sets, and just like making it underground all of a sudden. She's hooking up with another guy throughout the night. and kind of like looking at me and just going like, I'll go fuck this guy in the toilet, and like I don't give a shit. Like it was like very like contentious, and at some point like I close, and the guy is waiting for her, and he has like a motorcycle like to take her home, whatever. And she's like, so like, am I gonna come to your place or am I gonna go to his place? I'm like, I don't care really, whatever you want. And she's like, what? I'm like, I really like, I'm gonna go home. If you want to come, you can come, but I'm not gonna like, this is not a moment where I pursue you.
But honestly, I have to say that saying that is like the hottest thing you can ever say. Like, because like I don't even care, honey. Like, you can go to his, you can go to mine. Like, I love that because it's like, that's the most like pussy magnet you can ever had.
But that's the thing, that is not something I can do. The only reason I did that is because I actually felt like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not like, I don't have game like that, like nonchalant, like that's not me. No. It's just I actually didn't care that much, so I actually like came out honest. So then like he drops her off at her place, and then she walks back to mine, which is like a 15-minute walk, and I'm just at my place playing music and being like, she either shows up or not, and I don't care at all. And then she shows up, and then I'm like, okay, I guess we fucked now. But it was like, I didn't even care, which is very weird because I've never been in those situations at all.
But did you? Can I ask you, like, because apparently it was a very good sex for you, since you say that it's your best hookup.
Yes.
So did you, in the after thing of it all, like, did you feel like you regret that you didn't? Or like, did you feel something more?
No, it was just beautiful the way it was, because she like, there was like so much energy of like, I wanted to, but I didn't really wanted to pursue it, or I didn't like, at that point there was like enough like weird energy where like, okay, now I want to. And then she showed up, and we basically had sex for like 4 hours, and like I came 4 times, which I don't like, that's a lot. And she came like squirted 6 times, and like, but that was like so intense. Like, that had never happened to me to that extent, where it was like, where did this fucking come from? Like, an hour ago I didn't even care, and now this is like the hottest thing that has ever happened to me. It was like very interesting experience.
Yeah, I can really. I think I had a similar I'm not really sure when we talk about like the best hookups.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there is also a lot of them that I forgot about, or like that I forgot the feeling of them.
Yeah.
So like, you can only pick up the recent ones, right? There was this, the just by the gas station, very close to here.
Oh yeah.
I
love how you're trying to like get a base around the school. Like, the studio's upstairs, the studio's by here.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like, I was at Roxana. Yeah. So like, they had their release party.
Okay.
And me and Mia were there, and then there was this dude man that invited me up dude man. He invited me up to his studios, and I was just like not giving a shit about him. Yeah. Like, honestly, I just wanted to hear my music on his speakers. Like, I was like, okay, like, he was. I have to say that he was really hot, Irish, but like Irish, like, that's not really haven't been my thing, but. Anyway, like, I went up there. We didn't do anything, but he kept texting me, like, "Oh, Malva, like, when are you gonna come around? Like, how is your day? Like, blah blah." And we match here and there, like on the Tinder and things like that. And then one night, I think I was really drunk, and I was just like, "Yeah, like, I'll come up for a little bit," but we didn't even fuck. Like, we just made out, and I said that. Like, I have a boyfriend, I have to go to his house, which was actually true. But what I can regret from that, for me though, that's why I ask you, like, afterwards, like, I realized that I really, really like him, because then there were the night where I was at a party, and he was really hungover, and he just said, come when you ever, come as you are, like, and I went over there, and we were like, we didn't even have sex. We had a super nice time together.
Yeah.
And in the morning though, we had a lot of sex. And I came super hard very many times. And he had a very nice penis.
This is becoming like a.
but anyways, like, you know, he was like, for me, like in a way, like one of the best like hookups, because for me, I can think that I have had many hookups that made me come like better or harder or hotter, but it was just something about the whole thing.
That's the thing. It's always, I think,
we're just like this girl that you're talking about, like where I was just like not attracted, like, or just like not interested, and then we had sex and I got really interested after.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. I don't know, like, I don't have that much social sex drive. Like, I have a little physical sex drive, but I don't like the situations that it puts me that much. Like, I never want to feel desperate or try too much. Like, I hate myself and generally like men trying to have sex. That is my least favorite thing on earth. So I really like, I've said, like, there's been so many situations that I could have had sex that I didn't. And it's not that I didn't want to. It's that, like, so many times I just don't want to be in those situations. And even though I have a strong sex drive and I'll probably masturbate to that later.
What star sign are you?
What?
What star sign
Scorpio.
are you?
We're both
Scorpios. Oh my
Scorpios,
god,
honey.
yes. Yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
You're a Scorpio, sweetie.
Yeah.
I'm a Scorpio too, and I actually asked my partner today. I was like, because we were talking about like sexual experiences and stuff, and I was like, do you think that, you know, the sex drive and, you know, however good it is, do you think that it has anything to do with the fact that I'm a Scorpio? And it's like, yeah, babe. You're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't believe in star signs, but honestly, every Scorpio I've ever met, and including like, we're all fucking very like sexually forward and very like the sex drive is intense. Yeah. But at the same time, I haven't followed through with it that much. Because also, like, I like, there's certain like sexual situations where I feel comfortable, and those I can't get enough of. Like, if I'm in a place where I'm like super comfortable, I'm fucking on it. But there's so many situations that I don't feel like pursuing, or I don't know. It's a weird thing where I'll, like, so many times I've just not engaged with opportunities and situations just because I didn't want to go down that road for some reason.
Yeah, I think I can understand, like, it doesn't, for me, it's like a big part of like who I am. Like, I'm always up for having sex. Yeah. And sometimes I'm not, and then it's just like I like find myself, like, for example, like yesterday, like I came home after the party and I was with somebody, and then I didn't like feel like I can't come when I'm too drunk.
Yeah, it's
impossible for me. It's like I get like I can really come whenever, but I get sort of the speed or the cocaine boner, like before. But I just like I really like enjoy seeing another person come, and I really want the person to tell me when they're gonna come. It's really important for me. If someone like have sex with me and they're not telling me and they just come, like it's very important. But anyways, like, yeah, I think that it's the sex drive. It doesn't even like, sometimes it's not even like important for the actual coming part. It's more like
the situation.
The situation.
I'm the same. I don't like
the connection.
Honestly, me coming is a thing that I've kind of gone past in sex, where I don't. That's like the least of my worries.
Yeah.
I think that, to me, it's all about like chemistry and people. There's certain people that I feel so connected and comfortable with.
Yeah.
That we can, I don't know, both come like multiple times and it's the easiest thing. But if that's not there, that's the least of my worries. I don't know, like there's so much to me, like 90% of it is chemistry, body language, situations, like eroticism, touch, like all those things to me are 90%, and then 10% is
Actual
getting to actually, especially if you're a guy, like male orgasms are the most boring thing ever. I've had like some orgasms where I'm like fucking shaking and like spasming, which is super nice, and like that's a like really cool thing to get into. But besides those, the rest is kind of like, who gives a fuck at the end of the day?
Yeah, but it seems like whenever I sleep with men, like that it's like that a little bit, and that it's just like, we're gonna come. And then it's done.
That's it.
And then that's it. For me, it's more like
a painful shit where it's like for a second there. Okay.
Yeah, you can see sort of like something boiling over, like if you cook pasta with the lid on, right? Like, and it's boiling over. It's like
yeah, that's
and it's boiling over. It's like and then you don't hear it for a while because like whatever reason you have your headphones on. But like every reason, like that's for me how an orgasm is. Like,
isn't it weird?
1 minute, 2.
Yeah,
like,
isn't it weird?
It can be like really
how much guys just want to come and how unimpressive it is when they do.
Yeah.
Like for the straight guys, like wanting to come, you would expect that the orgasm is like a fucking, like, I don't know, like a tsunami, volcano erupting, fucking earthquake, and at the end of the day, it's just like,
it's like, I'm gonna go.
Was that it? Like, is this what you've been fucking like going crazy for?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't think so either. I don't know. Like, I think that maybe, I think it is a little different. Like, depending on what genital you have. Yeah. Right, like I think it is either like, but maybe I haven't never had a penis, but I can imagine like that it might be a little bit more the build up for me, at least. Like I can feel like it's not the build up, it's just the cum that I want. Especially if I'm fucking around, like just like being with a like an unknown person that I don't even care about. Like it's just for me about the cum. Yeah. So it's just like building up.
What I will say in defense of men is that because erections, we're psychologically built to deal with all of them. We just diffuse them instantly. Where it's like that whole like blue balls expression, where actually if you get like a hard erection during like a situation, it's very difficult to learn how to not address it because it feels like very urgent. It's like someone knocking on your door, like you come on.
It's like when you have this like itch on your back and you have to itch it, and it's like, oh my god, that's the stuff. And but it lasts only for like so short. So the thing, honey, I have to tell you that I have to pee so bad. I have to pee so bad.
Yeah, pee.
Can I pee? Can we have a pee break?
Yeah, pee break. Yeah, okay, pee break, and then we do the last. This is gonna be like a Lego thing that I'm gonna have to
You're gonna have to.
I'm gonna have to build. All right, bitches, and we're back from the break. This has been another chaotic Lazy Eye podcast, as we like it, as always. Me and Malva just getting drunk from our hangovers. We just
recovered. Word more. We're recovering.
Yes, this is what we do with our hangovers. We just create a new drunk day out of them. Okay, what were we talking about? We're talking about
like hookups and like how the
men coming and okay.
How we feel comfortable / non-comfortable with hookups.
Yeah. Okay. Let's shift this to. I wrote one question that Sunday.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Yeah, so we were like me and Mal were like talking. I think it was like 10 hours in that party. So we're like both kind of like drunk and like overstimulated by the things happening around us. And we're talking about what we're going to say during the podcast. And okay. So you told me a story that I don't necessarily like want to put you on the spot or like make you elaborate, but you told me like a story about your childhood and how kind of you grew up. And so I wrote this question that to me is a very interesting approach on life, which is, do you think that like growing up, like being exposed around like addiction and being exposed around like a lot of like adults and adult behavior and overstimulated as a kid makes you more, I guess, okay, fuck, let me,
Yeah,
because I
read
wrote
the question, sweetie.
I wrote it down in a, okay. Yeah, like, yeah, and like, like extreme like adult behaviors, if that makes you like more mature around it than never being exposed to it, or makes you like more vulnerable to it. Because I have like, I have a way more like dialed down version of that happened to me, but I also like grew up around adults and like a very different experience than kids my age and my environment. And I always have this kind of belief that in my experience it makes you way more mature and stronger around those things. But I've also seen the flip side of it, where people just become victims to it. So I'm wondering like how you perceive that and how you like handle that.
I would say that the both things that you're saying is true. Like I perceive that as being very vulnerable to it. Like older people, like, I don't know, doing stuff around me, or like even like close like relatives like doing stuff around me, that makes me feel very worried and vulnerable and like unsafe in a way. At the same time, I also can feel very much like belonging, and that it was the other thing you were saying, like just like I don't know, like it's very, very special, and it's also very hard to talk about. Like I really appreciate that you like do it like delicately, but I'm not afraid to talk about it either. But definitely, like I did grow up with a mom that was not around because of drugs, like that put some sort of trace in me, like, and I'm very, very, very grateful, like, because she came back, like, so she's like a lot of people like that have parents that was in drugs, they died, right? Like all my mom's friends, like from her times, they died. All of them like either killed themselves or took overdoses. So like if like everybody pretty much killed themselves with drugs or without. But I'm very grateful that because I think a lot because of me, like, you know, she came back, and it's very beautiful, and we have a really good connection today. But I think that it's some part of her behavior that makes me feel like I'm much more chill with stuff, but another part that makes me feel like that I'm much more like uncomfortable around it too. Like I don't know, like it's very, very hard, honestly. I do really appreciate what happened to me, though. I'm not like, I wouldn't take it back, like because she's alive and she's in my life, and I know that she was like close to dying a couple times, and like that I'm really, really grateful just for her being alive and being in my life right now. But I don't know, like can you agree upon that? Like
I mean, I don't have that direct of an experience through it. Like I can relate to it, but from a distance of like understanding the slight balances of what impact that can have on you. Where like 10% this way and your life is completely different, and 10% this way and your life is completely different. Where it's like it's so subtle, but there's something about it. Like what I can relate to is like there's times where I feel like nothing can penetrate me because all my experience as a kid came from people that went through fucking like shit in their lives.
Yeah.
So I feel always like I have an armor because of that, but at the same time I feel so vulnerable to me diving into that behavior just because I've normalized it in my head of like me not coping with an emotional imbalance and me trying to find a way out of things can so easily be traced back to so many behaviors I've seen throughout my childhood that I can justify in my head.
Yeah, but I think always like everything is like we talked about before, like everything can always be traced back to something.
Yeah.
And yada yada. But like I think like being around people that's very abusive towards themselves, whether it's like drugs or like, you know, sexually or like they're drinking alcohol, whatever. Like I think that you really, really, if you be around that as a kid, like I think that you drag so much from that.
It's an
even though you want it or not.
Yeah.
Like I just like I have, for me, for example, like I have this ghost in my head, which just says like, you know, like don't go too far, like don't lose it, Malva, like, and I'm not losing it, but it is a little bit scary.
Yeah, I think you build a defense mechanism in your head where it just, I don't know, like I think the reason why I never got into drugs that much is because like I drink a lot of alcohol, I smoke a little cigarette. It's like I'm very easily addicted to behaviors and situations. Drugs never. I think mostly just because I saw so many fucking coke heads and like people that like were family friends offering me coke when I was 15, to the point where I'm like, okay, I never want to be that. I don't care how good it is. I will experience it, but I will never be that. I think that's like I think people that are exposed to things tend to build a better understanding of it early.
I think so. At least, earlier than other people. I think everyone like builds an understanding for it, but not as early as we that have a close one that is using, and it's very hard to cope with, and it's like a lot of feelings of like, why would you pick this over me, for example, which I've had to like deal with so much. But like I think that honestly, like I can also, like getting older myself, I can also understand it so much more. And I think that I'm just like, I'm understanding everything that my mom, she got me when she was 17, like she was really young. And I honestly think, I can't say like, you know, like, why did you get me? Because this is my life. Like I'm very happy that I exist, honestly, of course. But she also got sort of forced into like having me by my dad and his relatives, and like I can really like understand her point of view in that. I did an abortion once, and like that wasn't too fun, and like I can only see like if someone pushed me like really hard, maybe I would kept the baby. I didn't want to have a baby. I was also 17, the same age as she was when she kept me. So I can really see and understand how like my life is resonating with hers, and like how she got sort of like forced into like keeping me, which, you know, I know that she's happy about it now, but it's like I'm happy about it too, and which makes it into such a like weird perspective, right? Because like here I am, and like an abortion away, like I wouldn't be sitting here. But also and maybe like I did, and I'm very happy.
Abortion away.
And you shouldn't also look like, for I really, really think that like abortions are just like, you know, please like just look at it the way they want to. Like they don't have to be a thing. Like it doesn't have to be a thing for you or anyone else. Like it's definitely up to you.
Yeah, of course.
You can just also see it like when I did it. Like I was just like, okay, it happened.
It happens, and how I have to
people were just touching me
it.
like, how do you feel? And I was just like, it's okay. It's just like it's a day after pill or like whatever. Like,
I'm just fucking trying to save my
So it doesn't have to be such a big thing, but I don't know. I'm very grateful that I'm on the earth, but I also think that maybe that's what got me on my mom like into her bad. Like she shouldn't have had a baby,
Yeah,
and she did, and she was 17. It's very young, right?
it is.
Yeah, we're both of us are older than that.
Oh yeah, my mom had me at this exact age that I am now.
Yeah.
Also, kind of accidental. She was like in a different place, obviously, but I don't know. To me, the reason I kind of want to ask this question, it's like I know these are like things that are not for everyone, at least like that easy to talk about. But at the same time, I feel like people that have
It's fine.
this way more like nuanced perspective on life have I tend to feel like they have a better understanding of how special some things are. Like there tends to be, I don't know, like you meet people where they're like, yeah, my parents got married, they had a kid, I went to this school, I went to this college, and now I'm working there. And you feel like, okay, did you stop at some point and be like, fucking amazing that I'm here, or just appreciate like small like it all feels just like it's a algorithm running. And I feel like people that go through interesting situations from traumatic to just unique, because I wouldn't say that my situation was traumatic. My situation was just unique in the place that I was growing up. There was trauma in there, but it was never like, I had a beautiful upbringing considering all things. But I do feel like having, I don't know, like,
yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah,
like,
it just creates a deeper understanding of like the circumstances that brought you here and how unique this shit is,
and also how much you take like how much you actually take your life for granted or not for granted. Like, it sounds super cheesy though, but it's like I think that
but
it's like,
also
it's also
true.
Yeah, it's also, it also is. And I think just about the school, like we talked about before, like some people come here, their parents, they are, you know, a little bit older. They didn't get them when they were like, you know, drunk in the party and when they were 17, and they didn't have, you know, drug parents or anything. Their parents are stable, they pay for their education, they come to DBS, the school, like and they are just like not, I don't know, if you don't get like if you don't get if you don't have to face any struggles, I feel like that just makes you grow old, like later in life. Like if you have to face struggles, you're gonna grow earlier, and if you don't have to, then maybe you're gonna be like, oh fuck, like life is tough when you are 30 and you get a baby or whatever. Like,
there's definitely a
very big, I feel like, and that's what makes the age lap different. Like some people can be 22 and they can feel like they're 15, but some people can be 22 and they can feel like they're 35. Like,
I think it's very fascinating how like what big of a distance like exists between certain people with just different upbringing and different parameters and situations and why they're here. I don't know, it always fascinates me because there's so many people that you meet that you're like, oh, they're like a really cool person, and then you like, there's such a big distance though from my understanding of how grateful I am to be in this place right now. There's like the energy is so different just because everything for you is just like a granted journey, and for me this is like I can't even believe I'm here, and I've been here for 2 years and I still can't believe I'm here. So it's, I don't know, I find that very interesting, just as a
and how you can like get to know somebody and they seem super cool and nice and great, and like you like click on so many levels. But on that, I'm not saying that all of my friends has to have gone through anything for them to be able to be my friends.
Of course.
But in a way, like it can be like where you reach a certain point where you're just like, okay, like you're super fun and nice, but like what is your perspective of the world? Like, I don't know, like it can just be like some people just don't have that realization of like difficulties yet, which is like totally understandable and it's super nice for them. But I just feel like sometimes I cannot relate to those people.
And it's not coming from like, I don't want every conversation to have deep complexity.
Yeah.
But I want, even when I'm joking, even when we're like talking about fucking, I don't know, having diarrhea, I want people who understand nuance, that can joke, but also like, and that it comes down to like the reason why all my friends are women and queer people is not because it's a choice, it's because those are like demographics of people that can actually understand nuance in culture, life, and experience, and go through like every floor of this school and talk to every guy, and most of them have the most linear and boring and non-nuanced perception of what life and art and sex is, and pleasure and pain. It just falls flat to me. It just feels like I'm talking to like a counselor at a camp or something. It's very removed.
It just makes me like right away. I just like glaze onto where I wrote my things down that I want to talk about. I haven't talked about many of them, and I don't think that I will. But my eye just flashed down to a point that I wrote.
Okay, let's
a fake orgasms. Which what you just talking about like made me think about that, because fake orgasms is just also like resonating a lot with what we're talking about, I think.
It is.
And I wanted to ask you, have you faked it?
I haven't faked. I think I faked an orgasm like once, but I faked.
It's a lot harder though if you have a penis, right? Because then, especially if you wear a condom, like you take it off and you're like, but you didn't come. Like you see it very clearly.
Yeah, but it's easier with a condom actually, because you pretend to come and then you just chuck the condom. But if you're not wearing a condom, then you need to come somewhere, so it's impossible to fake it. But when you're wearing a condom, you can just pretend you come and then chuck the condom. I've done that once. I've faked pleasure like 3 or 4 or 5 times where I'm not feeling it. I'm also wearing a condom, so it just feels like nothing. I'm drunk. I'm not into it. So I just fake a little bit of like pleasure, which is very weird. Yeah.
But don't you think also that it can sort of turn you on, like, to fake pleasure? Like, I think that, like, sometimes, well, maybe I'm not feeling it fully, but if I'm faking that I'm extremely into it, I might get it very into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I relate to that. Yeah. I think if like, I think with men it's very different. It's very much not neat, because men anyway tend to be like very silent even if they're enjoying it. It's kind of like not a lot of interaction there a lot of times. But I feel like the couple of times that I've done it, it was like I knew that this was going nowhere. So I'm like, as long as I'm hard, so it seems like I'm enjoying it, I might as well pretend that I am enjoying it. But in reality, it was just like but I really had. Yeah, it doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same with like a female orgasm, where a lot of times you can have to fake it and it's like a guy and like
but I do really come super easily. Like I can come like 5 times during a sex usually, but if as soon as I have like a little bit to drink, that stops. Like I can't come at all, and I know that I'm not like, doesn't even matter like how hard you try. I just know if I had more than 3 beers, like you're not gonna be able to make me come. But I still think that it can be something hot with faking it. I think, like, for example, like I had like a threesome with 2 dudes, which I never thought I would, but like I did, and like that was super hot, but I was really high, and like and then I just like, I sort of like were faking my pleasure, but I was also not, because like the
enjoying
theatrical
the moment, just not feeling it as much.
The theatrical thing of like doing it is also making you like know, get into it so much more, and like I'm always gonna remember like that
makes
interaction
sense.
Like,
how does that feel? Like, is it, because I would imagine it would be hard to get to that place where like 2 dudes and feel like super like good with it. It feels a little bit at all times a little bit like
like intense. I've never, like, I only had threesomes and foursomes with girls pretty much, but I did have it the one time, and it was only with 2 people that I'm really, really comfortable with.
That's
like
good,
both
yeah.
was actually in my last class here.
Nice. That's great then. Because I think you kind of need that, right? You need a little bit of more, like being more comfortable with them, a little bit more like knowing that you still have control over this.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, for sure. But we also did some stuff together.
Nice.
To make it feel a little bit more relaxed. I don't know, but it was really fun, and I'm never gonna. I don't want to take that back, even though I was not coming. Like, I was still really much, like enjoying that. So I think that the faking, theatrical thing.
Yeah, it's not always bad. I relate to that. I understand that.
Yeah,
makes
I'm
sense.
sorry, I'm getting a little bit sleepy.
Okay, we're gonna end this podcast on the theatricality of not coming. I don't even know what has happened on this episode. It was so much fun.
Thanks
talking
for
to
having
Malva
me,
again,
sweetie.
Sweetheart. So the podcast in one way or another is gonna exist. I don't know how it's gonna look. I don't know if it's gonna be 1 hour or 4. I don't know what the structure is gonna be. I don't know if you enjoyed it or it was for us it was wonderful, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
So I don't even know what day it is because we have the Dumb Bitch Disease podcast coming out this Tuesday this week. So I don't even know when this podcast is out. We're gonna figure that out.
I was suggesting Sundays because it's the best day of the week.
I think Sunday would be a great day.
A good day
I think Sunday would be a great day. Maybe that's the new date for the Lazy Eye podcast. That would be fun.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. So we're going to figure that out. We're going to have like the next No Boundaries and Lazy Eye podcast is going to be a little bit more concrete. The last like 3 episodes of all the podcasts have been very drunk and weird and interesting for us at least. Anyway, thank you for listening, watching, and whatever. I
think that now we're gonna go double on my bike to the gas station.
Yes, to get some beers because we're fucking going on this journey. We're
gonna make an intro for you, Paris.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That you might hear.
That you might hear on the beginning of this podcast. If you hear something in the beginning of this podcast, it was made now.
Yeah.
So, Just now, fresh out of the oven. Okay, we gotta fucking end this. I have no idea.
Thanks for having me, though.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I hope that it was enjoyable.
Always, honey.
But I had a really good time.
Okay. Keep it loose and lazy as always. Thank you for listening. We're on the Instagrams, Facebooks, YouTubes, all the channels. Subscribe. Send us an email. Send us a dick pic. Text us. We're always here for you for any question around faking female orgasms or anal prolapses, whatever you might want to engage on. We're here. All right, that was it from the Lazy Eye podcast.
Yes, good night. Have fun. Hello.
What a timing.
Vi är precis klara. Ja.
Well, because I was like, I need to get you guys now. You've been there for so long. So you were actually, oh my god, you've been here like 4 hours now.
Oh my god. I don't even know where.
You have.
Like honestly,
I did like a quick